Who is eligible for the stimulus check? While eligibility is similar to first, second, and third stimulus check. If you are searching for stimulus check update, personal finance, or tired of online scams, then you are at right place. Welcome to Latest USA, and let's start the video. There are 4 primary requirements. 1. Income. The income requirements to receive the full payment are the same as the first and second stimulus checks. There is no minimum income needed to qualify for the payment. Households with adjusted gross income up to $75,000 for individuals will receive the full payment. The third stimulus payment starts to phase out for people with higher earnings. The third stimulus check's maximum income limit is lower than the first and second stimulus check. Single filers who earned more than $80,000 in 2020 are ineligible for the third stimulus check. View the chart to compare income requirements for the first, second, and third stimulus checks. Social Security number. This requirement is different from the first and second stimulus check. Any family member that has a Social Security number or dependent can qualify for the third stimulus check. For example, in a household where both parents have ITINs and their children have SSNs, the children qualify for stimulus checks, even though the parents don't. For the first and second stimulus check, at least one spouse must have a valid Social Security number. If you are married filing jointly, and one spouse has an SSN and one has an individual taxpayer identification number, the spouse with an SSN and any qualifying dependents with SSNs or adoption taxpayer identification number can get the payment. If one spouse is an active member of the military, then both spouses are eligible for a stimulus check even if only one spouse has an SSN and the other spouse has an ITIN. Originally, under the first stimulus check, if you were married filing jointly, both spouses needed valid SSNs. However, expanded SSN rules for the second stimulus check are retroactive and now apply to the first stimulus check. If you were denied your first stimulus payment because both you and your spouse did not have SSNs, you can claim your first stimulus check as the Recovery Rebate Tax Credit on your 2020 tax return or use getctc.org if you don't have a filing requirement. The deadline to use getctc.org is November 15, 2022. See the chart for further explanation of how this works. 3. Dependency. The dependency requirement is the same as the first and second stimulus check. You cannot be claimed as someone else's dependent on a tax return to get the third stimulus check for yourself. If you are claiming dependents for an additional $1,400, they can be any age as long as they have an SSN or ITIN. Unlike the first and second stimulus checks, there is no age requirement. 4. Citizenship or residence. The citizenship or residency requirements are the same as the first and second stimulus check. You must be a U.S. citizen, permanent resident, or qualifying resident alien. 2. Which of my dependents qualify for the third stimulus check? For the third stimulus check, all your dependents qualify, regardless of age. This means that for each child or adult dependent you have, you can claim an additional $1,400. This is different from the first and second stimulus checks, which only allow child dependents to get the additional payment. 3. Can I claim a stimulus check for someone who is deceased? Yes. For the third stimulus check, people who have died on or after January 1, 2021 are eligible to receive the third stimulus check. However, for married military couples, the date of eligibility is expanded. If the person who died was a member of the military and died before January 1, 2021, the surviving spouse can still receive the third stimulus check, even if they don't have an SSN. For the first and second stimulus check, the IRS has stated that people who died on or after January 1, 2020 are eligible to receive both payments. If they didn't receive the stimulus payments or didn't receive the full amounts that they are eligible for, spouses or other family members can file a 2020 federal tax return and claim it as part of their tax refund or use getctc.org if they don't have a filing requirement. Can I get the third stimulus check if I am incarcerated? If you are incarcerated, You are eligible to receive the first, second, and third stimulus checks if you meet the other eligibility requirements. 5. What if I owe child support payments, back taxes, money to creditors or debt collectors, or federal or state debt? None of the 3 stimulus checks can be reduced to pay any federal or state debts and back taxes. Unlike the first stimulus check, your second and third stimulus check cannot be reduced if you owe past due child support payments. If you are claiming the payments as part of your 2020 tax refund, the payments are no longer protected from past due child support payments, creditor and debt collectors, and other federal or state debt that you owe. In other words, if you receive your first or second stimulus checks as part of your tax refund instead of direct checks, it may be reduced. 6. What if I get government benefits? Will the third check count against eligibility? Earned income tax credit or unemployment benefits. Like the first and second stimulus checks, the third stimulus check does not count as income when determining your eligibility for means-tested programs like SNAP, TANF, or Medicaid. Stimulus checks are not counted as income for the EITC or unemployment benefits. 7. Are the third stimulus checks taxable? Will I owe the IRS money next year? Like the first and second stimulus checks, the third stimulus check doesn't count as income, so you don't have to pay taxes on them. You will not be required to pay anything back. 8. What if both my spouse and I have ITINs, and our children have SSNs? Can our family get the third stimulus check for our children? Yes. For the third stimulus check, any household member that has an SSN qualifies for a payment. Than the first and second stimulus check, where at least one tax filer must have an SSN for the household to claim the stimulus checks. That adult with the SSN and any qualifying children with SSNs will get the stimulus checks.